We have an eclectic show lined up for you tonight with the latest on all things Hollywood. With everything from Aidan Hall's Oscar Spotlight, a review of The Monuments Men from Ramil to Die, and a brand new edition of Swing at Me with an annoyed Nicole Kane. There's bound to be something for everyone.
But there's only one way to be sure, so kick back and stay tuned because the real deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm KAYLI Russell.
And I'm Connor Fack. At any given moment, an overwhelming amount of news from the entertainment world is making its way out into the eternal void of the internet, to be forever stored with the rest of our culture's inconceivable waste of information space.
Okay, while Connor constructs the rest of his thesis on the downfalls of the information age, here's Olivia McClellan to help you sift through the massive information and news with Hollywood headlines.
A company that owns the rights to the name and image of icon James Dean is suing Twitter for allowing as many as 5 accounts using the actor's name and image. Attorneys for Twitter last week asked that the case, initially filed in Hamilton's Superior Court by James Dean Incorporated, be moved to U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Indiana. Attorneys for Twitter and James Dean Incorporated did not immediately respond to messages for the Indianapolis Star. The transfer cites the potential amount of damages at stake and because the case may involve questions of federal law. The request for transfer was filed Friday, one day before Dean, who died in 1955, would have turned 83. To fans, Dean is forever frozen in time as a young rebel due to his death at the age of 24 in a car crash. At least 2 of the Twitter sites remained active today. They include James Dean with 8,209 followers, which features a photo of Dean striking a pensive pose. Clint Eastwood became a lifesaver at the AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro-Am. He attended a volunteer party on the eve of the PGA Tour when he noticed tournament director Steve John choking on a piece of cheese. The 83-year-old actor quickly performed the Heimlich maneuver Wednesday night at the Monterey Conference Center. John said Friday that the Hollywood actor saved his life. He says Eastwood immediately saw that he was in trouble and lifted the 202-pound tournament director 3 times about a foot off the ground. Eastwood told the Carmel Pine Cone it was his first time using the Heimlich maneuver. Eastwood is the chairman of the Monterey Peninsula Foundation, which runs the popular PGA Tour event. He presents the trophy on Sunday. The Lego Movie was a success with moviegoers, assembling an exceptional $69.1 million debut at the weekend box office. The better-than-expected result made the Warner Brothers collaboration with the Danish toy company easily the biggest hit of the year so far. A sequel is already in development for the 3D animated film, digitally drawn to mimic a world composed entirely of Lego bricks. I'm Olivia McClellan, and this has been your Hollywood Headlines.
Thanks, Olivia. I, for one, was a little skeptical about the premise of the Lego Movie, so it's nice to hear that it's getting such great reviews.
I'm sure fans of the movie will also be excited to hear that there will be a sequel. Although that's not too surprising since everything seems to get a sequel these days.
Although some sequels are more warranted than others, and Jordan Bennett-Barnes is here to give you his top 5 sequels. Take it away, Jordan.
What's going on, Real Deal viewers? Now, throughout the years, film franchises have made sequels that haven't always been perfect, but there's always that one that catches you off guard and actually turns out to be an amazing film. Well, I'm Jordan Bennett-Barnes, and I'll be giving you my top 5 sequels that caught me by surprise. Starting at number 5 is coincidentally the 5th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise, Fast 5. This action-packed sequel puts racing duo Vin Diesel and the late Paul Walker against an unstoppable, hungry force for justice. No, I'm not talking about the cops, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about The Rock. The WWE wrestler gives an amazing performance and definitely gives this film the push it needs. Coming in at number 4 is the 23rd film of its franchise. It's the James Bond sequel, Skyfall. After being on a mission that goes horribly wrong, Bond must find a way to get his stride back and become the MI6 agent he was before. What really won me over besides the cinematographic value of it is the performance of Javier Bardem, the film's antagonist. He brought a sense of danger to 007's mission and is perhaps one of the greatest Bond villains we'll see in a while. My number 3 is coming from a sequel to a remake, actually. It's the 2013 sci-fi action film Star Trek Into Darkness. The film centers on Captain Kirk and his crew of the USS Enterprise as they battle a former Starfleet agent who is taking vengeance against the organization. This film may have stirred some waves with Trekkies, aka fans of Star Trek, but there's one actor that made me purchase this film for my own collection. It's the English film, TV, theater voice actor Benedict Cumberbatch, as he plays the vengeful former Starfleet member. The man brings his character to life like you wouldn't imagine. Don't believe me? Buy it yourself and watch him. The number 2 spot is going to recent box office blockbuster Hunger Games: Catching Fire, second installment in the Hunger Games trilogy. After disappointing some of its core audience with the first film, this one truly delivers in terms of plot, acting, and even visuals. Jennifer Lawrence's performances never fail to surprise me, and certainly don't as she portrays the heroine Katniss Everdeen in this sci-fi adventure film. The plot definitely thickens in this sequel and gives insight to the things to come. And now coming in first place on my list is the critically acclaimed superhero film, The Dark Knight. That's right, people. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Batman versus the infamous Joker. This movie is so in-depth, I don't even have time to go into detail about how much I love this film. Granted, I had my doubts about the late Heath Ledger playing the Joker. In fact, a lot of people didn't think that he could match up to Jack Nicholson's Joker in the 1989 Batman. But audiences appreciated his chaotic performance. As for me, he ended up making me love the Joker even more. Not to mention having audiences ask the number 1 question of the year, why so serious? All right, viewers, hoping that you enjoyed that top 5. I'm Jordan BENNETT-BARNES.
Thanks, Jordan. Sequels can be hit or miss, but I always find myself wondering what happens after the initial story.
Well, since it's time for our first break, the viewers are going to have to wait until after these commercials to find out what's next on The Real Deal.
Or we can just tell them that Romel Tadai gives us her review of The Monuments Men, Aidan Hall shares the lowdown on some Oscar hopefuls, and much more. So stick around.
You are never out of the fight.
Come on, buddy, faster! No! Hang in there, guys!
This is crazy! Relax! You got 5 seconds to throw it back? This ain't no damn video game! It's probably still drivable, though, because it happened in the back. You can't drive it now. Tell me what I need.
He really wanted it all. We better get it back.
Introducing the double-decker couch, so everyone could watch TV together and be buddies.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Let me handle this. That idea is just the worst.
Welcome back. Here in The Real Deal, we don't always see eye to eye when it comes to the world of entertainment.
Connor, are you still upset that I said that Gilmore Girls was overrated?
A little. But critical analysis and debate is what keeps the entertainment business from becoming corrupt. So, with her take on the film Monuments Men, here's Romel today.
Based on a true story of the greatest treasure hunt in history, The Monuments Men centers around Lieutenant Frank Stokes and his band of museum directors, curators, and art historians as they enter in World War II with the task to recover the world's arts masterpieces that the Nazis have stolen. Labeled as a comedy drama, the film rang true of this, though fell flat in a few places. Throughout the film, leading up to the finding of the actual stolen artifacts was a bit rocky. The film's director, George Clooney, did a good job of illustrating the story of the importance of protecting the art from the Nazi Germany, but lacked strong emphasis on developing those moments in an upward direction. With the film so hyped up on the fascinating subject, the writers didn't give it any justice to the impressive star-studded cast, which included Mr. George Clooney himself, Matt Damon, Bill Murray, John Goodman, Jean Dujardin, Bob Balaban, Hugh Bonneville, and Kate Blanchett. and thus creating a sluggish narrative with strangely placed speeches, fallen jokes and gags, and a lack of character development. As for the score of the film, every war flick needs your uplifting piece or rapid fighting number. However, when music was or was not needed, strange choices were made to portray certain moments and created odd storytelling for much of the story's plot. As much as I enjoyed Clooney, the rest of the cast, and the intriguing film subject, The Monuments Men is a miss for me. This has been my review of The Monuments Men. I'm Romel Tadai.
Thanks, Romel. Well, you can't love them all, I suppose.
Clearly.
Connor, I'm sorry, but the dialogue in that show was so unrealistic.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're entitled to your opinion.
Maybe your Oscar picks will win this year?
Maybe.
Do you want to hear Aidan's opinions on the Best Actor and Best Actress categories?
Sure.
Take it away, Aidan.
Thanks, Kayli. With the Oscars right around the corner, what better way to prepare than to look at our leading ladies and gentlemen, our true stars of the acting spotlight. For 86 years, these heroes of the big screen have been rewarded or jaded. So, dear viewers, here are the nominees and my personal choices for this year's Best Actor and Actress in a Leading Role. Best Actors: Christian Bale, Dark Knight, drug addict, and all-around crazy person, but still nominated for his role in American Hustle. While he's no underdog, he's always a fighter. Bruce Dern, an underdog to be sure, he has earned this nomination for his excellent acting in Nebraska, a black and white film about the depressing world of scams and old people in the beloved Cornhusker state. The acting was top-notch and the story was top-notch depressing. Leonardo DiCaprio. Speaking of depressing, this red-headed stepchild of the Oscars, always a runner, never a winner, but hopefully for his work in The Wolf of Wall Street, he just might have a chance. Chiwetel Ejiofor, the bane of English-speaking viewers. While his acting is breathtaking, his name is maddening. And 12 Years a Slave, he stole the show, and hopefully he'll steal the critics' hearts. Matthew McConaughey, this Southern gentleman, an all-around movie heartthrob, has hit the critics in the feels with his groundbreaking work in Dallas Buyers Club. Best Actresses: Amy Adams, Superman heartthrob and David O. Russell go-to gal. Amy Adams made the critics and the fans swoon with her excellent acting in American Hustle. Amy is a bombshell to be sure, and she makes alcoholics want to be an AA. Cate Blanchett, this thunder from down under, rocked the critics with her powerful role in Blue Jasmine, Woody Allen's latest gem. While the director may be a beast, Cate Blanchett was a beauty. Sandra Bullock, she wooed the audiences in this down-to-earth drama about two astronauts in gravity. Her acting was poignant, and while the CGI stole the show, she might very well blindside the audience and become an Oscar-winning star. Judi Judi Dench. When she's not protecting the throne with that 007 of sorts, S is trying to search for her brood in the heartwarming movie Philomena. You tend to forget she can kill a man when she's working to find her little man. And Meryl Streep. This New Jersey gem, probably the only good thing from New Jersey other than Kevin Smith, is certainly an iron lady. She's a devil of an actress, and with her role in August Osage County, she'll have the critics screaming, "Mamma mia!" And there you have it, dear viewers, the best of the best. Personally, I hope that Leonardo breaks his dreaded curse and Meryl Streep walks away award in hand. However, seeing the pattern to these awards, Bale and Adams might very well lock in the awards, because the reviewers love O. Russell. So join me, viewers, on March 2nd as we watch with bated breath to see who joins the pantheon of award-winning gods of acting. I'm Aidan Hall, back to FAC.
Thanks, Aidan. I just can't be in a bad mood after one of Aidan's segments. He's always so enthusiastic.
That's good. Anyway, it's time for another break, but don't go away. We've got Nicole Kane's beef with reality television in Swing at Me, as well as director spotlight from Michael Mathis coming up after this.
Oh, I'm kidding.
You got it,
start.
Girl, you look good.
Food looks really good.
Hey, girl, listen to me. The food is vile. Do not swallow the food. You wait till she's not looking, spit it in the bag, get low. Do it fast, because the food will eat through the bag, she'll smell it. You and your own. I try to tell you. Yeah, baby, give me one more. How much is to life?
Is it possible to love someone so completely they simply can't die?
You're late.
You think he's calling the cops?
He's been digging into his past.
David's not a criminal.
Why would you keep that a secret?
I warned you.
He's undoing what we did to him.
Welcome back. Now, I'm sure we all have that show that no matter how popular it is, you just can't seem to like it.
I know I do. Today, though, we are going to hear from Nicole Kane about what she doesn't like in Swing at Me. Nicole?
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Kane. Now, one show that has captivated the female population for 17 seasons is The Bachelor. One question about The Bachelor that comes to my mind is how has this show lasted for 17 seasons? The whole concept of this show makes me lose total faith in humanity. What woman thinks that this show is the way to meet your dream husband? First of all, you are competing with 25 other women for one random guy that you don't even really know. It is literally easier to walk outside and pick a random citizen off the street to marry. Hey, that relationship would probably last longer since the majority of the couples from the show break up after a short period of time. Now, the latest season of The Bachelor follows Juan Pablo, who is a former professional soccer player and is also a father to one daughter. And this is what gets me. He is a father. Like, oh my goodness, why are you on a reality TV show to find love? He doesn't even really know these women, and he is eventually bringing one into his daughter's life. Think of the child. She could be scarred for life, or one day, your daughter will see this show and be incredibly embarrassed seeing how crazy these women act to gain her father's attention. It truly baffles me how people get so emotionally invested into these fake dating shows, since clearly none of what is happening can be real. And if it is, there is some deep sadness in my soul. The crazy behavior and desperation of the contestants to be the last one standing completely takes away the fact that they're supposed to be finding love. But that's reality TV for you, isn't it? Ruining every aspect of real life by broadcasting it nationwide. I'm Nicole Kane, and this has been Swing at Me.
Everyone just wants their time in the spotlight, I guess.
Speaking of spotlights, Michael Mathis is here with the new Director's Spotlight. Michael?
Often directors are overlooked by the celebrities that star in their productions. They tend not to get the credit that they deserve for the hard work, time, and effort that they put into the production, especially up-and-coming directors. At this year's Sundance Film Festival, several of those up-and-coming directors debuted their work in hopes of becoming the next Alfred Hitchcock, James Cameron, or Steven Spielberg. Justin Simien was one of those directors. Named for Variety's top 10 directors to watch, with his film Dear White People, Simien proved to be a powerhouse in comedy with his satirical look at being a blackface in a vastly white world. Simien started at Dear White People Twitter about 2 years ago with tweets like, "Dear white people, the single ladies dance is dead. Please turn off your webcams and go on about your lives." Meant to be accurate, the sometimes funny, mostly harmless, but occasionally painful experience of being a black face in a vastly white people, such as most Hollywood work environments, Dear White People served an ulterior motive, creating the outline of Simien's film Dear White People. It is Simien's first feature, a satire focusing on 4 black students' experiences at a predominantly white Ivy League college. Dear White People follows its 4 main protagonists as a group of white students at their college through a black-themed costume party. Simien said in an article with The Guardian, "We see the way in which the party came together and the aftermath of the party came together through the perspective of these 4 different black kids who all have very different ideas of what it means to be black in a predominantly white space." While the film is a comedy, Simien says it is making an important statement. It is a social commentary on what I consider to be the new American black experience and about the supposed post-racial place that we're definitely not in, but think we're in. Simien is sure to be a well-known face in the next few years and a director that I think should definitely be watched. That's your Director Spotlight. I'm Michael Mathis.
Thanks, Michael. Comedy with a social message. My favorite.
Really?
Let's not start disagreeing again. But it is time for another commercial.
After our break, Connor and I have our final word, this week with a special twist. Stick around, you won't want to miss this.
Welcome back. To wrap up the show, I suppose we'll be giving you a final word of sorts, but with a more specific subject. We're going to dust off our reel-to-reel projector and introduce some great films many of you may not be familiar with in a segment we're calling From the Vault.
Now, the film business has been around a century old, depending on where you start counting from. And in that time, it can be shockingly easy for even great films to be left by the wayside as time passes by. But one of my favorite classes Classics is The Maltese Falcon, a film noir from 1941. Acclaimed actor Humphrey Bogart stars as Sam Spade, a private eye who takes on a murder mystery case after his partner is found dead. He investigates 3 potential suspects, all of whom are on the quest to find a valuable statuette of a bird, the Maltese Falcon. Originally a novel, the movie was nominated for 3 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Screenplay. Additionally, Roger Ebert and Entertainment Weekly have named The Maltese Falcon as one of the best films of all time. This movie is said to have kicked off the film noir genre in the 1940s. Although it's been years, many years even, since I have watched The Maltese Falcon, I remember being immensely entertained. This movie has deception at every corner that you eventually give up on what's right and wrong. The plot sometimes gets confusing because it seems like everyone in the cast is after this bird statue, but that just adds to the entertainment factor, making this an unforgettable classic film to watch. Plus, Bogart does an outstanding job portraying Spade, a cynical man who always has a witty comeback. Film noir is a cinematic term often used to describe stylish crime dramas with cynical male leads and seductive femme fatales. The cinematography is generally a dark black and white style, and the golden age of the genre was the early 1940s to the late 1950s. And this movie is one of the more widely known film noirs movies. So if you're ever interested in this genre, I highly suggest you begin with The Maltese Falcon. The film is great, and come on, who doesn't love a little Bogart?
The movie that I grabbed from the vault is a favorite of mine and a landmark for the film industry. Frank Capra's 1934 picture, It Happened One Night. Released exactly 70 years ago this month, the film stars Hollywood greats Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable. Colbert plays a spoiled heiress trying to trek from Florida to New York against her wealthy father's wishes, and Gable plays an arrogant but enterprising reporter who promises to help her, as long as he gets an exclusive scoop on the story. Widely recognized by film scholars as one of the first classic screwball comedies, its most iconic scene has the duo trying to hitchhike along a highway, and after Gable's trusty thumb fails uproariously, Colbert stops the car in its tracks by showing off a shapely leg instead. Ironically, many of the people making it didn't think much of It Happened One Night. Both Gable and Colbert thought that the film had a weak script, and both were about the 6th choice the studio had for their roles, after many other actors turned them down. To sum up best the atmosphere on set, on the first day of filming, Gable remarked, "All right, let's get this over with," and on the last day, Colbert quipped, "I just finished the worst picture in the world." But against every opinion of those involved, the film turned out to be a smash success, raking in millions and single-handedly moving the until then struggling Columbia Pictures up to the ranks of the major studios. Even more impressively, It Happened One Night became the first of only 3 films in history to win a Grand Slam at the Academy Awards, taking home the Oscars for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Screenplay. This success was a surprise, especially for Colbert, who was so certain that she was not going to win that she wasn't even attending the ceremony, but was quickly found and rushed to the Biltmore Hotel to accept her statuette. So if you're looking for a fun and lighthearted time with some of the best talent Hollywood has ever had to offer, It Happened One Night still has the power to entrance and entertain even 7 decades on. If you'd like to add it to your own film vault, you can currently stream it for free on YouTube, but we officially recommend purchasing a copy on DVD or Blu-ray so that you too can cherish it for years to come.
And that wraps up our show for the week. Be sure to check out our Facebook and Twitter pages for updates on all things entertainment. I'm Kayli Russell.
And I'm Connor Fack. We'll see you next time.